Hello everyone, welcome to our channel, Doom Productions. We make movies and videos about films and filmmaking, and today we are talking about what I learned as an actor. So if you don't know who I am, I'm a director. I make movies on this channel, and that's my primary job, along with a lot of other things that comes with no-budget filmmaking. This year I was able to act in 3 different feature films. One that I directed called Video Carnage, one that a friend directed called Wild Boys: The Hunt for Sasquatch, and a third one, which is not out yet, but I didn't direct, but Ethan directed it, called The Bell Rings. When it came to Video Carnage and Wild Boys, I had a lot of hands on the behind the scenes of it all, obviously being the director of one and being a producer and kind of co-collaborator on the other. But with The Bell Rings, I really just showed up just to act, and it was a really fun experience being able to just focus on one job only. That's really rare when it comes to no-budget filmmaking, and I learned a whole lot about the process of acting, and I wanted to share with you all what I learned from that experience of just working on a movie purely as an actor. So without further ado, let's just get into it. The first thing that I learned as an actor: if you memorize your lines, it's gonna go a whole lot faster than it would otherwise. I know on no-budget productions you may not have the time or the ability to memorize everything. I was fortunate enough that I was able to sit down and really memorize all my lines. I had a lot of time that I was able to prepare for, and it showed me the difference between acting in that movie, in The Bell Rings, as opposed to Video Carnage, where I had to memorize my lines just before we went on. Having time to spend with the script is super duper helpful, not only for just acting performance-wise, but also knowing the story and knowing your lines, and it makes shooting the movie a whole lot faster. The second thing that I learned as an actor is give yourself time to prepare emotionally for the scenes that you're about to act in. In Video Carnage and Wild Boys, I had little to no preparation because, again, I had other duties, but on The Bell Rings, I had a lot of time to be able to prepare, not just memorizing my lines, but emotionally, diving into the script and analyzing it, seeing where my character's at in any given scene, and going through a process to kind of get myself mentally prepared for that performance that I need to do. I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know how it turned out, but I know that on set, my acting felt different, and I think I felt a whole lot better than I am usually. So you gotta give yourself time to emotionally prepare. The third thing that I learned as an actor, this one is more for filmmakers out there, but be ready for your actors. It's really hard for actors to mentally prepare for a scene and a line and a performance, and they're ramping themselves up to that moment only for you to say, stop, wait, I didn't need to set up the tripod, I need to adjust the microphone. Starting and stopping your actors when they're ready to do a scene will just yank their emotions, will yank them right out of a scene. Fortunately, this didn't really happen on The Bell Rings, but it made me really appreciate that I was able to have that luxury of Ethan being prepared on set. Now, every actor is different, and I know that for me, that if I have to start and stop constantly during a scene, that really yanks me out of the mood, and I know that my performance is suffering because of that. On a similar note, it's also really difficult if you are kind of sprinkling in close-ups and insert shots in between the coverages of the different actors on set. I'd recommend that you get your insert shots first or last, but get all of the coverage, all the dialogue, get that in a one big chunk without it being broken up by different little close-ups. The fourth thing that I learned about acting is that it's really difficult for actors to jump into a scene halfway through it. For me, every conversation, every moment of dialogue has a natural flow to it. There is a story arc within the scene itself. And if you're asking me to just jump in halfway through or just go to certain lines, it kind of messes up my groove, my rhythm a little bit. So even if you're not going to use this coverage of a scene from different shots, allow your actors to run through the entire scene for each setup. It may seem like a waste of time, but if they have their lines memorized, it should go by fairly quickly. And it's going to help them give you a better performance. The fifth thing that I learned about acting is that blocking is really important. When you're a director, allow your actors to act through the scene in the space that you're going to be shooting it, and then figure out your angles and figure out how you're going to cover it. You can make adjustments if something isn't working, but generally, I think it's way better to let the actor kind of do what they're thinking within the scene and then move your cameras around that action, rather than box them in with coverage that you already had in mind. The sixth thing that I learned about acting is about really emotional scenes, the waterworks scenes. So for scenes where you need to be really emotional, there's kind of 3 things that really helped me stay in that headspace while I was performing as this character. The first thing is you gotta stay hydrated. The tears are not gonna come if there's no water in your body. The second thing is conserve your energy. Now, every actor is different, and for me, if I am kind of goofing around and chatting up other people in between takes and shots and setups and all that kind of thing, like I usually do when we're making a movie, that's gonna impact my performance in a negative way. So for me, it's way better to conserve your energy and just kind of focus on the headspace that you need to get in to perform a scene. If you're a better actor, you probably can switch in between work mode and play mode quite a bit, but for me, someone who's not a great actor, that's kind of what I had to do. And the third thing that'll help you out if you're doing emotional scenes is lock into that material as the character and not as yourself. I found that when I was performing in a scene and I tried to make myself sad by thinking about sad things that happened to me in my life or things that upset me, that wouldn't give me the stamina that I needed to be able to perform the scene lots of different times. I was able to give a good performance for maybe like one take or so, but I found that when I was able to lock myself into the script as the character and think about things from their perspective and get really invested and really protective of that character, that helped me out way more, and I was able to perform the scenes way more times than I would if I had just thought about myself and my emotions in my life. So I learned a lot working on this movie, but those were my main takeaways working on this movie purely as an actor. It was really, really fun to do. It's something that I honestly have never done before, worked on a movie just as an actor and not had any involvement elsewhere. So it was a really lot of fun to get to work on this project. I don't know when it's going to come out. I know that Ethan is currently editing it, and I'm really excited for you all to see it when it does finally come out. So thanks for watching. If you want to be the first to know when the bell rings is going to drop, hit subscribe and like this video. And while you're waiting, check out some of our other feature films. We hope you enjoy them, and we hope to see you on the next video.